towards the end of the 12th century. As Europe lies mired in the Dark Ages, two cultures set the standard for human civilization. The Islamic states in Persia and Central Asia, and far away to the east, a trio of fabulous kingdoms in China. Between these stretch vast, inhospitable grasslands, the Eurasian steppes. Although the steppes are formidable, they are not empty. Nomadic tribes, the Tatars, Mongols, and others, eke out a grim life. In 1175, the Tatars renew an old feud with the Mongols. These two tribes, so similar in lifestyle and belief, are bitterly divided by ancient rivalries, a never-ending cycle of alliance, treachery, and revenge. Caught up in their own struggles, they ignore their common enemy, the rich and powerful Jin of northern China. The Jin wisely perceive that as long as the people of the steppes are focused on each other, they won't trouble them. It is in this time of upheaval that great Mongol conqueror Genghis Khan arises in the 12th century. He does so not from a family of kings or princes, but as a fatherless boy, facing death with his family on the barren steppes. Genghis Khan's given name is Temujin, Mongolian for ironworker. It's fitting. His life will demand an iron will. In 1175, when he is barely 9 years old, his father, leader of the clan, is poisoned by the Tatars. Her children. Temujin's mother gives him a simple charge: seek revenge. For 30 grueling years, Temujin fights to unite his clan and gain the title of Khan, great leader. He learns to trust those proven loyal in battle, and he remains suspicious of all others. By the age of 40, he has grown to be a gifted chieftain. Having united his tribe, in 1196, Temujin turns to the second task: vengeance on the Tatars. A combination of finely honed horsemanship and tactical strategy overwhelms their enemies. They are virtually wiped from the face of the earth in just 2 years. Only their name will live on. And they are but the first of many, for Temujin is molding his army into the finest light cavalry the world has ever seen. The ambitious chieftain is a religious man. He reveres the natural hierarchy he sees around him. The ground is sacred. The rivers are sacred. But above all is heaven, the protector of the nomads. For Temujin, human affairs should mirror this hierarchy, and one man must stand above all others. Temujin has no doubts that fate has chosen him to lead. In 1206, a ruler's council of steppe tribes acclaims Temujin as universal leader, or Genghis Khan. He now stands poised to conquer the rest of the world and seal his reputation as the bloodiest of all barbarians. Driven to avenge his father's murder and empowered by a sense of his own destiny, in 1206, Genghis Khan rises from obscurity to the brink of world domination. He is the ultimate leader, the Khan of all the restless and nomadic tribes of the steppes. His people live a difficult life in a brutal environment. This hardscrabble existence shaped Genghis Khan's character, and his mother's words of vengeance provided his mission. By the year 1206, Genghis Khan's power over the steppes is unchallenged. Now he directs his vengeance on the wealthy and arrogant Jin of China. In 1211, the Mongols move to invade China. The enormous ancient nation sees them as scruffy upstarts out to stir up a little trouble. The Chinese have no idea what they are about to face. Within hours of their initial meeting, the Mongol troops annihilate a much larger Chinese force. The nomads learn fast. They copy Chinese siege technology to breach their city walls. They become the embodiment of terror. In 1215, they lay waste to the capital of northern China, Chengdu, present-day Beijing. But just as victory seems within reach, news arrives that trouble is brewing in the Mongolian homeland. The news reaches Genghis Khan across 1,000 miles of territory, carried by a surprising system of communication that eventually will connect the entire Mongol Empire. In 1218, the Yam riders bring Genghis Khan the news that Kuchlug, the Khan of the Naiman clan, is fomenting a rebellion among other disgruntled tribesmen. Genghis Khan's hard-won order is being threatened by disloyalty from his own people. This cannot be tolerated. In search of the rebels, Genghis Khan launches a crusade that takes him far from his business in China. As they pursue the rebels west into Muslim lands, the Mongols annex one kingdom after another. Before crossing into each new territory, Genghis Khan gives the local ruler the option to give up the conspirators and surrender peacefully. But if the ruler resists, Genghis Khan warns he will show no mercy. He writes one chieftain, "The disaster will reach you too." Genghis Khan's campaign of vengeance has swelled his empire till it touches the borders of the ancient kingdom of Khwarezm in present-day Uzbekistan. Though Khwarezm is an attractive target, Genghis Khan goes no farther. He has learned something new. Genghis Khan's final dispatch to Sultan Muhammad is simple and grim. "You have chosen war," he writes. As his soldiers prepare for war in 1219, Genghis Khan is unconcerned. "That will happen," he says, "which will happen. And what is to be, we know not. Only God knows." In carrying out God's heavenly plan, the Khan will teach his enemies a terrible lesson and continue a conquest that will destroy all that stands before him, including the wealth and knowledge of an entire civilization. Genghis Khan has unified the nomadic Mongols, subdued the wealthy Chinese, and now, in 1219, stands perched to take on Sultan Muhammad, the ruler of the Khwarezm Empire of Central Asia. Genghis Khan is a man driven by revenge. Inalchuk, the Sultan's governor, has flagrantly humiliated a Mongolian diplomatic envoy, an abuse that cannot stand. But the Sultan's stronghold, Samarkand, is defended by an army much larger than Genghis Khan's own. To even the odds, the Khan turns to tools that have served him well in the past: mobility and surprise. Genghis Khan's first blow comes at the border town of Utrar in 1219. After a 5-month siege, the Mongols burst through the defenses and lay waste to everyone and everything in their path. There is no limit to their cruelty. A special fate is assigned to the greedy governor, Inalchuk. He discovers firsthand the meaning of the old Mongolian proverb, "Return what people give to you." Dragged from his hiding place in the citadel, he is held down while molten silver is poured into his ears and eyes. February 1220, Genghis Khan plots a three-pronged attack, unrivaled in cunning and malice. First, two columns of Mongols strike Khwarazm from opposing directions, east and west. Their main goal? To lull Muhammad into thinking that these trifling attacks are the Mongols' best shot. In those feints and skirmishes, Sultan Muhammad strings out his forces along hundreds of miles of farmland and river valleys south of Samarkand. But far away to the north, Genghis Khan prepares for the main assault. Genghis Khan carefully seeks out the smugglers and bandits who know the secret waterholes and camel routes in the desert of Kızılkum. These will be his guides. They will lead his army over 300 miles of punishing desert sands, a back door to the Sultan's kingdom. In March 1220, Genghis Khan and his army emerges from what the Sultan believed was an impenetrable desert, like demons from his worst nightmare. In one of the greatest strategic rearguard attacks in the history of warfare, proud Samarkand falls in just 10 days. Sultan Muhammad shows his true colors, fleeing for his life from one city to the next. Like hunters pursuing a fox, the great Mongol generals are given 20,000 men and told to crush any town that shelters the fugitive Sultan, as they relentlessly track him down and kill him. The Mongols' monstrous rampage devastates magnificent Persian cities like Balkh and Herat. Genghis Khan is not concerned. The ruins of once great cities still lay scattered across Persia like ghost towns. With the annexation of Khwarazm, Genghis Khan's empire reaches from the Yellow River all the way to the Caspian Sea, the largest continuous land empire in the history of the world. The most remarkable result of this Mongol conquest is that East is open to West for the first time in 1,000 years. Ironically, creating such an empire is not Genghis Khan's goal. The flame of vengeance still burns in his belly, and he still has a score to settle with the Chinese. To that end he now turns, but it is the one thing beyond his reach. In 1227, in his mid-60s, Genghis Khan dies on the march to China. According to legend, the victim of a freak riding accident. Armed troops and slave girls escort his body back to the steppes, where he is laid to rest in secrecy. See another empire like it? In Mongolia, some fervently hope so. Even today, Genghis Khan is worshipped there as a god. His name is a source of national pride, his tent a hallowed shrine. Small wonder then that the Mongols wait eagerly for the spirit to rise anew, and for the barbarian